I wish you were dead. My brother, Hayes, actually said those words to me once. Hate isn't a strong enough word for what he felt. So, I gave him what he wanted. Stomach cancer. But when I finally died smiling right in front of him, he didn't celebrate. He shattered. He lost his damn mind. It started the day I got the diagnosis. I was clutching the crumpled medical report, my knuckles white, when his name flashed on my phone. He opened with an interrogation. Cold. Merciless. My phone vibrated in my hand just as I unlocked the front door. Hayes. I stared at the screen. The diagnosis report in my bag was already a tight, sweaty ball of paper. Hayes never called first. Dad's birthday was 2 days ago. His voice could freeze hell over. Typical. Why didn't you come home? Didn't feel like it, I said, cutting him off. You went. That's enough. Brittany flew all the way back from Europe. Brittany. My cousin. The foster sister. The golden child. Good. She's there. Since she's the only sister you actually claim, you didn't need me. Silence on the other end. Then, a snap of anger. Low. Warning. Harlow. I pressed the red button. The line went dead. The last streak of sunset bled out across the floorboards. I sat at the dining table and pulled the diagnosis out of my bag. I didn't read it again. I just started tearing. Rip. 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 White confetti rained down on the dark wood. Just as the last piece fell, my screen lit up again. A text from Hayes. Mom's anniversary is coming up. Hayes. My brother. My tormentor. He hates me. It's not just a sibling rivalry, it's a blood feud. Because I killed Catherine. 20-something years ago, our mother, Catherine, went into labor. I took my first breath, and she took her last right there on the operating table. Alive for a life. My birth was a murder disguised as a miracle. No one celebrated my arrival. Leonard lost the love of his life. Hayes lost his mother. I was the villain in their tragedy from day one. I didn't skip Leonard's birthday to be a brat. I skipped it because pain had doubled me over in the bathroom until black spots danced in my vision. That was the first red flag. The first sign that my body was turning against me. But honestly, my absence was probably the best gift I could have given them. Hayes didn't text again. The next morning, I stood outside the corporate headquarters, sucking in a jagged breath of city air. After graduation, I joined his company. Started at the bottom. Climbed my way up, tooth and nail. And no one knew. I was a ghost in his machine. To the rest of the staff, I was just another employee. We barely spoke. I saw him less than the interns did. Last week, a senior exec walked. Rumor mill said the VP spot was mine. Everyone said it was a lock. Before I held that death sentence of a paper in my hand, I thought so too. Chapter R. I bumped into Taylor in the hallway. She flashed a grin and leaned in close, practically vibrating with energy. Don't forget, drinks are on you when the promotion is official, Harlow. I kept my gaze low, forcing a small smile. Nothing is set in stone. Please. It's yours, she said, hooking her arm through mine. You're the only one here who actually deserves it. We walked into the conference room. Hayes was already there. Our eyes locked for a nanosecond before I severed the connection. I looked away, treating him like a stranger. Mr. John. He didn't even look up. Just a stiff, mechanical nod. You'd never guess we'd been screaming at each other 48 hours ago. The room filled up. Chairs scraped against the floor. Hayes cleared his throat. Taylor nudged me under the table, winking. I stared at my notepad. Then, the name dropped like a bomb. Brittany. A familiar figure glided through the door. Slim, elegant, radiating that effortless grace she'd perfected years ago. Her smile was soft, practiced. Hayes stood next to her, presenting her to the room like a trophy. Ms. Tan has just returned from Europe. She will be taking over the position of vice president. The air left the room. Heads turned toward me. I could feel the weight of their pity, the confusion. I didn't blink. I just looked at Brittany standing on that podium, smiling like she owned the place. The silence stretched. A suffocating, awkward tension. I lifted my hands. Clap. 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 My applause was lonely and sharp, breaking the spell. A few others joined in, hesitant and scattered. Brittany caught my eye. Her brows curved into a sweet, innocent crescent. The break room coffee was overwhelmingly strong. I stirred it with a plastic spoon, staring into the black liquid. I took a sip. As it burned its way back up my throat, settling into a sour knot in my stomach. Taylor was seething. Her eyes were wide, incredulous. Are you kidding me? A nipple baby hair. She just waltzes in and steals your spot. Is this a joke? Harlow, say something. You aren't pissed. She slammed her hand on the counter. That office belongs to you. You nearly hospitalized yourself for that project last month. She scanned my face, her anger softening into concern. Seriously, look at you. You look like hell. Stop killing yourself for this place. The heat from the ceramic mug seeped into my cold palms. Mr. John has his reasons, I murmured. Taylor's eyes narrowed. She opened her mouth to argue, to spill more grievances, but a ringtone slashed through the quiet. It was mine. I answered. Hayes' voice filled the small room, leaking suppressed fury. Harlow. My office. Now. My hand jerked. Hot coffee sloshed over the rim, soaking into the cuff of my wet blouse. The liquid scalded my skin. I didn't flinch. The pain was grounding. On my way. I pushed the door to the CEO's office open. Brittany was perched on the leather sofa, head bowed, clutching a piece of paper like a lifeline. Hayes sat behind his desk. A statue of ice and repressed violence. People always said we shared nothing but blood. Except the eyes. We both had those upturned corners. Cold. Distant. Unreadable. Too bad neither of us ever smiled enough to warm them up.